Ever think about launching a website? Like all in one day?
In one day.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Right.
But actually, today's deep dive,
Hmm.
well, it might convince us it's possible.
Really?
Yeah, so we're looking at this article. It's from Super Tech Nomads. They're these tech folks. And it's called, get this, Website Setup Made Easy. Launch your first site in just one day.
Okay, so they're making a bold claim.
Yeah, definitely bold. And you know us, we're going to break it all down, figure out what really matters so that you can, get a website up and running.
Sounds good. I'm already intrigued.
Right. So right away, the article hits us with this stat. Businesses with websites, they're 50% more likely to generate leads.
50%. That's huge. But I do wonder, is that across the board? Like every type of business?
That's a great question. Like 50% is a big number, but what's the story behind it?
Right, exactly. And it makes you think about the bigger picture, the whole idea of control.
Control.
How so? Well, with social media, it's great, but you're playing by their rules, those algorithms. But a website, that's your space, your brand. You control the message.
I see. So it's about owning your platform.
Exactly. And of course, a good website, it just screams credibility.
True, true. If you're looking for something online, you're going to trust the business with a website over, like, just a social media page.
Exactly. It's that first impression.
Okay, so we know websites are important, but where do we even start? Step one, according to SuperTech Nomads, it's all about the domain name and hosting.
Makes sense. That's your foundation.
Yeah, and they use this example, like, say your business is called Urban Coffee.
Okay.
So you'd want a domain name like urbancoffee.com or maybe urbancoffeehouse.com.
Right, I'll get that .com. But isn't there more to it than just picking a name that sounds good?
You would think so, right?
I mean, that domain name, it's your online address.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like, it's how people find you. You
Right.
want something memorable, easy to spell. Imagine if someone's like, is that with a K or a C? Every time.
Oh, yeah, not very professional.
Not at all.
So domain name, check. But then there's hosting, and that's where I always get tripped up. SuperTech Nomads recommend Bluehost, SiteGround, and Hostinger. What even IS hosting?
Think of it this way. Your website, it's all these files, pictures, code, all that.
Okay.
Hosting is like renting space on a server to keep all that stuff safe and accessible to anyone who visits your website.
So it's like the actual physical space where the website lives.
Exactly. Like renting a storefront for your business. And you wouldn't want a rundown store, right? So you need reliable hosting that performs well. No one wants a website that's always crashing.
Makes sense. The article mentions needing at least 10 kilobytes of storage.
Yeah, especially if you've got lots of high-res images or videos.
Right, so the website has room to breathe.
Exactly. You don't want to run out of space.
Okay, so we've got our domain name, our address, and hosting, which is like the building. Now, how do we actually build the website?
That's where the content management system comes in, or CMS. And the article recommends WordPress.
WordPress. Why WordPress?
Well, it's kind of a big deal. It powers like 43% of all websites.
Whoa, 43%, seriously.
Yeah, it's the most popular CMS out there. And there are a few reasons why.
Okay, all ears.
One is user-friendliness. You don't need to know coding to build a site with WordPress. And the other is flexibility.
So it's easy to use, but I can still make it my own.
You got it. It's kind of like the operating system of your website. The article mentions that most hosting providers offer one-click WordPress installs.
Oh, so it's easy to get started.
Yeah, super straightforward.
They also mentioned Wix and Squarespace. Are those worth considering, or is WordPress the only way to go?
Definitely worth a look, especially if you're a beginner. They're super intuitive.
How so?
Think of them as like digital Legos. You literally drag and drop elements to create your pages.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it sounds fun.
Right. It's easy. The trade-off is they might not be as customizable as WordPress.
So maybe less control in the long run?
It depends on what you need. If you want total control over the design and how your site works, WordPress might be a better bet.
All right, I think I'm starting to get this. Domain, hosting, and now we have our website engine, the CMS. What's next? Making it look pretty.
You got it. Step 3 is all about choosing a theme and customizing it. The article makes a great point here. They compare website design to walking into a store.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Imagine you walk into a store and it's just a mess. Stuff everywhere, disorganized.
I'd probably turn around and walk right out.
Exactly. First impressions matter for websites too.
Okay, so themes are basically like the interior design for your website.
Exactly. Think of them as templates that give your site a certain look and feel. The layout, colors, fonts, the whole vibe.
But how do you even choose? There are so many options.
There are a ton, yeah. The key is finding one that matches your brand and who you're trying to reach. And the article really stresses choosing a mobile-friendly theme.
Right, because everyone's on their phones these days.
Exactly. It's a mobile-first world.
So, mobile-friendly, got it. But what does that actually mean? Is it just about text size and images?
It's more than that. A good mobile-friendly site, it adjusts to fit different screens, so text is readable, images look good, and buttons are easy to tap. You don't want people zooming in and out all the time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And Google actually penalizes websites that aren't mobile-friendly.
Right, so it's not just about user experience, it affects your search rankings too.
Oh, wow. Okay, no pressure then. So where do you even find these magical mobile-friendly themes?
Well, the good news is there are tons of options. WordPress has a huge library of free themes. And if you want something more unique, there are premium marketplaces like ThemeForest.
So options for every budget.
Exactly. You can definitely find something that works for you.
Okay, great. So let's say we've picked out the perfect theme. Can we just leave it as is, or is there more to do?
Customization is key. You'll want to tweak those colors, fonts, the layout to really make it your own.
So it reflects the brand.
Exactly. Think about your logo, your marketing materials, the overall message you want to send. Your website should be an extension of your brand.
Not just some generic template.
Exactly. It needs to be unique, just like your business.
All right, so we've got this visually appealing, mobile-friendly website, but it's still kind of like an empty house.
Right. We need to fill it with stuff.
Exactly. What content do we absolutely need?
That's step 4, adding the essential pages. The article, it compares these pages to rooms in a house.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah, so you need a home page, an about page, a services page, and a contact page.
The basics. Got it.
Yeah, but even the basics, you got to do them right. Like that home page, what makes a really effective one?
That's a good question. I've seen some that are just like a wall of text and others that are just way too flashy.
Yeah, it's a balance, right? A good home page, it's like a welcome mat. It needs to tell people what you do, why they should care.
So like your elevator pitch.
Exactly. You've got a few seconds to grab their attention.
Keep it short and sweet.
Yeah.
What about the about page? I feel like that's the page people skip over.
Maybe, but it's your chance to tell your story, connect with people, on a personal level.
Oh, okay. So it's about building trust.
Right. People want to know who's behind the brand, what you stand for.
Humanize the business.
Exactly. And then there's the services page. Seems pretty straightforward, but is there a trick to it?
Yeah, is it just listing out what you offer?
Kind of, but you got to focus on the benefits, not just the features, like how do your services solve problems?
So don't just tell me what it is, tell me what it does for me.
Exactly. Show your expertise, why you're the best choice.
Got it. And finally, the contact page. Is an email address enough these days?
It's a start, but people want options. Contact form, email, phone number, maybe links to social media too.
Make it easy to get in touch.
Exactly. And make sure that contact info is easy to find.
Don't bury it at the bottom of the page.
Right, exactly.
So we've got all our pages, content's looking good, time to launch. Right.
Hold on. Just like a pilot does a pre-flight check, we got to test everything first. That's step 5.
Testing. You mean like clicking all the links, making sure things look right?
It's more than just a visual check. Test every link. Make sure forms are working, especially if you have a checkout process, like for e-commerce.
Oh, right, like if someone's trying to buy something.
You don't want any surprises there. Broken forms, payment issues, that's a lost sale.
And a frustrated customer.
Yeah, not good. Better to catch those errors before they reach your audience.
Makes sense. So everything's tested, working perfectly. Now can we launch?
Now you're talking. Hit that publish button, celebrate a little. But the journey doesn't end there.
There's more.
Oh yeah, step 6 is all about promotion.
Okay, so tell everyone we know, right? Blast it all over social media.
It's not about spamming, but yeah, spread the word. Announce it on social media, email your subscribers, tell your friends and family, put a link in your email signature.
So get some initial traffic going.
Exactly. And that early traffic, it's not just for feedback.
What else is it for?
It actually helps with how search engines like Google see your website, more visits, more engagement. Google thinks, hey, this site must be valuable.
So it helps with search rankings.
Exactly. It's a long game.
I see. It's not just about a big launch day spike, but building something sustainable.
Exactly. Building a strong online presence. And that brings up a point the article doesn't really get into.
What's that?
Your website, It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. It needs to be updated, nurtured.
That makes sense. The internet's always changing, so your website needs to keep up.
Right, but what does nurturing a website actually look like?
Yeah, is it just about adding new content?
New content's important, definitely. Blog posts, new products, updated services. But there's more.
Like what?
You got to look at your website analytics.